Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. You're still tuned to News Central now. Now to speak with us on the call for reforms in Nigeria's electoral process by stakeholders. I'll be introducing my guest again. We did introduce him just before the break. I'm joined by Inter-Party National Chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council, Yusuf Dantalle. Hello, Yusuf. Thank you so much for joining me at this time. Hello, Yusuf. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
All right. So, Yusuf, speaking on Nigeria's electoral process and the reforms, how do the current electoral laws and regulations in Nigeria compare to best practices in other democracies?
Thank you. I won't be answering your questions directly. I will start by laying certain foundation to the issue itself. Today, we had an engagement organized by Yaga Africa that talked about reform and then presentation of a report, the 2023 general election and the reforms that are required. Well, some of the things we are looking at first, in the words of one of the speakers who represented INEC, and I subscribe to his submission, is that the reform the problem about enabling laws, guidelines, these are not the problem. They are like addressing the symptoms of the problem without necessarily addressing the source of the problem. The problem is about Nigeria and Nigerians. We need to know exactly what we want, and it's only then that we know how to go about it. Are we looking for a democratic system where people will have real dividends of democracy, or democracy that will just serve the interests of few individuals against the masses? And that will lead us to strengthening the spirit of nationalism, and then addressing a few underlying factors like the cost of election, the economic benefits of political office holding in Nigeria, and democracy at the grassroots, which will take us to State Independent Electoral Commission, because we're all looking at democracy at the state and then the federal level. And nobody is saying anything, okay, or want to pay attention to what happens at the grassroots because of the activities of State Independent Electoral Commission and the governors of the respective states. So these are the things we are looking at.
Okay. All right, Yusuf. But then what role does the Electoral Commission play in the call for reforms, and what changes are proposed for its structure or operations?
With the commission, is it an Inter-Party Advisory Council or INEC?
The council and INEC itself.
Okay. What we do, we are advisory bodies. Inter-Party Advisory Council is the umbrella body of all registered political parties in Nigeria. What we do is to come in, regardless of our different political ideologies and focus, but to come as one family to see how can we deepen democracy through inclusivity and then looking at the enabling law. But here, what we are looking at first is how can we grassrootize democracy? Can we deepen it at the grassroots level through the scrapping of State Independent Electoral Commission? And why do I say so? You know, it's a fact in this country today that anywhere, any state that is being administered by a particular political party, that same party end up taking the local government and councillorship elections, how they want, using the instrument of State Independent Electoral Commission, which is 100% in the hands of the respective state governors. And the moment you deny people the opportunity to elect who they want at the grassroots, or democracy is injured at all levels. You cannot build something on nothing. You can't continue to say we have democracy only at the state level and the national level without looking at what happened at the third tier of governance, the government that is closest, that have direct bearing on the lives of the people, which is closest to the people. So if we must talk about democracy, inclusivity in Nigeria, first we have to look at the local government and then the state independent electoral commission. You see, the state independent electoral commission, they do not have voters register, they do not have BBC, they do not have a polling unit and delineation of constituency. So everything they use for the conduct of this election is that provided by INEC. It's the same INEC that conduct election for state assemblies. And this will go down to the local government and the ward. So if INEC is conducting this election at the state level, what's stopping INEC from conducting the local government election? So we need to look at that. And then we equally talked about unbundling of INEC so that it can focus purely on conduct of election and then having other agencies, okay, as the Nigerians would deem fit, to look at registration and monitoring of political parties. Additionally, we talked about the appointment of the INEC chairman, at least the removal of appointment of INEC chairman from the president, okay, to a different body, or subject to the approval of the National Assembly. And then local government autonomy.
Hello, Mr. Yusuf. Hello, Mr. Dantalle. Can you hear me? All right, we seem to have lost Mr. Yusuf Dantalle, but thank you so much for speaking to us on this. All right, Mr. Yusuf, okay. Can you hear me? All right, we lost you for a bit there, but, still talking about, still on, your point, we all know that, technology has actually advanced in, every area at the moment in most countries or most climes. So how would you say technological advancements should be leveraged in the proposed reforms to improve the efficiency and security of the electoral process?
We have something called by Beavers, which is a portal for warehousing of election of the votes. So the possibility of having only if the electricity or power is improved, but it is something that is feasible. So if the system, but in all
right, Mr. Dantalle, we sincerely apologize, but I actually have to end it here because your network is really, really poor and we can barely make out what you're saying. But thank you so much for speaking to us on this and also for your time. We appreciate it.